Florida, speaking of thieving, Florida and New York is taking different two different perspectives, two different strategies on how to deal with thieves. Now we know California is the state of not being accountable and actually empowering thieves to continue to continue to steal. You don't get nothing. You can go and squat. You can go and do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it over in California. But Florida and then New York is taking completely different strategies on how to deal with theft in stores in a state and deliveries in Porch Pirates specifically, especially Porch Pirates. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. This is Ron DeSantis holding a press conference talking about how he's cracking down on Porch Pirates and theft inside of the state of Florida. Check it out.
Morning to you. I'm Stephen Graves. We are interrupting programming because Governor Ron DeSantis is holding a press conference on the Treasure Coast in Stewart. Let's listen in.
We're also joined by Carlos Gonzalez, a major investigator, manager for Walgreens. Bob Brewster is going to talk about being a victim of retail theft. We have Senator Harrell and Representatives Overdorf and Snyder that are joining us, and they were instrumental in getting the legislation passed that we're going to sign today. We in Florida have been very clear. We're a law and order state. If you do the crime, you're going to do the time. We care more about protecting public safety and the rights of law-abiding citizens than we do about coddling criminals or making excuses for them. So we've done that in a lot of different ways. We've enacted really strong penalties against people that traffic fentanyl and kill our citizens. When I have had the basis to do so, I've acted to remove state attorneys who are not enforcing the law and putting their citizens at risk. We also put an end to the so-called bail reform movement in Florida, which just recycles criminals and puts them right back on the street. And we've reenacted the death penalty for pedophiles in the state of Florida.
Can we get a round of applause for Governor Ron DeSantis? Hey, Ron DeSantis said that y'all not just going to be giving all of the accolades to Governor Wheelchair over there in Texas. We're not just going to let Greg Abbott take all of the credit for going out here and taking care of business. Ron been out here passing laws, reinstating the death penalty, making sure that you get long sentences for trafficking fentanyl, protecting the borders against Haitians that's over there getting their butts kicked by barbecue. Ron DeSantis said, listen, we not playing no games out here in these streets. If y'all going to be out here doing the crime here in Florida, you going to do the time. Now, I thought that Texas was standing on business. But it seems like Ron DeSantis says, let me talk to you for a minute. They passing laws when it came to squatters. Y'all see that? As soon as the squatter thing became a thing, and they seen some people that was over there having a problem, they said, let me go ahead and pass these squatter laws. You go over here and you squat if you want to, you getting thrown out on your head, and you getting arrested, and you getting charged. Ron is not playing no games over there in Florida.
So all across, we've seen a commitment to public safety. And of course, we support the people that wear the uniform. Part of that is by giving a bonus. We did 3 years in a row of $1,000 bonuses for every sworn law enforcement officer in the entire state of Florida. We do $5,000 signing bonuses for new recruits into the state of Florida at both the county, municipal, and state level. People know that we have their back. And if you look, that is not the norm, unfortunately, in many jurisdictions across this country. You look at a place like California, they passed Proposition 47. That allows people that commit retail theft to be charged with misdemeanor, even if it had traditionally been a felony. That means they get numerous retail theft offenses. Did they get held accountable? No. They get a slap on the wrist. You look at...
Shout out to Ron DeSantis for throwing New York and California under the bus.
New York, they eliminated cash bail for many offenses, including offenses for retail theft, so that now you can only get a felony theft charge if you steal more than $1,000 worth of merchandise. Anything less, you get a desk appearance ticket. That has caused people to loot stores and do $999 worth of looting, and then they leave knowing that they're not going to be held accountable. Well,
imagine knowing what the law is as a criminal, and you know that all you got to do is stay under $1,000. We can go up to $999 in theft. So I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna get this PlayStation. Let me give me a couple games to go along with it. Make sure I get me a Fanta soda. Give me a couple waters because I want to be healthy. Go get me some apple sauces, some apple juices. And I'm going to go ahead and walk on right out the door with some liquor. And we're going to go ahead and get it popping tonight. We're not worried about it. First, you got to catch me. Secondly, if you touch me, I'm going to sue. And then third, even if you do catch me, and if you find out that it's me, guess what? Can't do nothing to me because I'm under $1,000. You can't throw a felony on me. I know that I'm going to be able to beat the charge. And if you catch me, I only get a desk ticket. That's crazy. That's absolutely, positively crazy. Insane. Shout out to New York.
Well, it's not probably surprising that with policies like that, you're seeing retail theft surge in different parts of the United States. In 2022 alone, $112 billion in retail theft. States like New York, $4 billion alone in 2022. New York City has seen shoplifting increase by 63%. Los Angeles up 81%, San Francisco up 24%. Now, that has an impact on you as a consumer because the prices will go up to reflect those stolen goods. That's just basic business. If they're not able to sell those goods, if those are losses, they got to find a way to compensate. So you end up seeing rising prices when you go into the store. It also just has a demoralizing effect on people when you go in and you want to buy toothpaste, and it's like Fort Knox because it's all under lock and key for basic items. You got to get a clerk to come and open it and all this stuff just to do basic shopping. That is not something that is good for quality of life. And then, of course, if you can have people come in and just steal retail and walk out, that creates a contempt for the rule of law that has a spillover effect in areas far beyond retail theft. And so in Florida, we've actually seen a decline in retail theft over the last 4 years, and we're proud of that. I think it's because a lot of people know this is not the state you want to try that in, but we are seeing issues with retail theft across the country. Nationwide, 88% of retailers have reported that shoplifters are more aggressive and violent now compared to just a few years ago. 49% say they have observed much more violent and aggressive behavior. Why? Because I think these people come in and they have a sense of entitlement that they can take what they want and that they're not going to be held accountable. And so I think the behavior has reflected that. You see stores closing down in different parts of the United States, whether that's Target closing 9 stores in Portland and Seattle, Walmart closing stores in Chicago, Nordstrom closing stores in San Francisco. That is a direct result of the lack of commitment to the rule of law and holding criminals accountable. So we're not going to do that in the state of Florida. We're going to make sure that our retailers are able to sell products, that consumers are able to benefit, and that people are held accountable when they break the law. This theft is not limited, though, to just retail outlets. You also have in an era where people are clicking and ordering online and having packages delivered to their front door, you have a cottage industry of porch piracy, where people will go and steal packages from somebody's front door. And different citizens have responded in different ways. You have cameras, the doorbell cameras, you have all this other stuff, but it's not certainly effective in soft on crime jurisdictions, and it's not something you should have to do in the state of Florida, and so we're not going to put up that either. So today's bills, the bill I'm going to sign, not only cracks down on retail theft, it also cracks down on porch piracy, so that if you order something and they leave it at your front door, you come home from work or you bring your kids home from school, package is going to be there. And if it's not, someone's going to have hell to pay for stealing it. So HB 549 is a great piece of legislation. It is pretty much doing the opposite of what a lot of states like California and New York have done. It believes that we need to increase penalties on those who are committing these acts. So we will raise penalties on people that steal packages from your front porch. They are going to be deterred from doing that with adequate penalties.
And I agree with that because, listen, it's already bad enough that people are walking in the stores and stealing stuff that's not theirs. Listen, it's not yours. I don't care if it's from a big box retailer. I don't care if you don't feel like they make too much money. It's not yours. It's not yours. Keep your hands off of other people's stuff. And I think that it's 10 times worse to walk up on somebody's property and take something off of their property. That's crazy. To walk onto somebody's property. Look, bro, to touch somebody's mail is a federal offense. You are not even supposed to go and put flyers inside of a mailbox. When they would walk around and they would do the flyers back in the day, or they would do it in mailers, and they would do it separately from the post office itself, they would have to put it on the doorknob. So they would have a rubber band and they would wrap it up and they would put it on your doorknob in order for you to get the mailer, right? Or to get the little flyer or whatever that you put on. You could not put it inside of the mailbox because that's an offense. You can't put it inside of the mailbox. But people can run up on your porch and be able to take your packages. They can run up on your porch and take your packages. Man, that's crazy, bro.
We're also increasing penalties for the so-called retail theft rings. So if you have 5 or more people, you're going to have enhanced penalties as a result of that, because this is a coordinated effort that you see in some of these jurisdictions. We are also going to make it a second-degree felony if you use social media to solicit others to participate in retail theft, because what you have are these flash mobs that are incited by social media to descend on some stores. And the thing is, the clerks are overwhelmed at that point.
If your kid, y'all better watch your kid if you don't want his future to be ruined. If your kid go on social media and align themselves with or participate in something that's been promoted as a flash mob, I don't care if it's a hidden Snapchat, it's not hidden. I don't care if it's Instagram, I don't care what it is. Listen, if your kid are at these, as Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson say, large gatherings and they participate, you getting a felony. You getting a felony. They not playing no mess around if you want to. Look, you know what's going to happen, right? Somebody's kid going to get it and they going to say, oh my God, it's racism, it's systemic. They putting it on black people, or they putting it on these people. They putting it on Hispanic people. They putting it on Cuban people. Way more our black and our brown people are the ones that's being under duress because they're putting too stiff of a penalty on our children for doing things that is not a big deal. You're telling me that his whole life is supposed to be ruined because he decided to go in there and steal $1,000 worth of stuff? That's not right. Well, you should have told him to stop stealing. You should have told him to stop stealing. They not playing. Listen, y'all not going to get it. As much as we got this going on or whatever, you're not going to get it. You know why? Because you're going to wait to man is going to be the one that they're going to have to make some examples out of somebody. They're going to have to make some examples out of somebody. They're going to have to make some examples out of somebody. And once they make an example out of you, it's going to be him, it's going to be man, it's going to be baby, it's going to be all of them, and then you're going to get the point. Because it's not enough to just create the law. You got to actually make an example out of somebody in order to understand it.
It's very hard to keep things in order. And we are going to hold people accountable in a really big way if they're committing retail theft with a firearm, or if they've already had previous convictions for retail theft. You're looking at really, really serious penalties. So I think what we're doing has been successful compared to other jurisdictions. The fact that we've seen a decline, but we also know that we got to do all we can to be able to protect public safety. This bill, cracking down on the porch pirates, cracking down on retail theft rings, making sure people that use social media to incite these flash mobs of retail theft, that all those people are held accountable, and they will be held accountable in the state of Florida. We don't want to see stores go out of business, We don't want to see prices increase, and we certainly don't want to treat every retail establishment as if every item needs to be under a lock and key just so that they're not looted without end. And that will not happen in the state of Florida. You will have toothpaste on the shelf that you can grab, check out, and leave. Imagine that. Isn't that great to be able to do that? So thanks for the legislature for being involved in this piece of legislation. We'll hear from some of the other folks we have, so we'll start with our Attorney General.
Let me give a round of applause for the state of Florida, Ron DeSantis, and all of the legislators down there. Shout out to Ron DeSantis out here in the building, running it up. Said we going to go ahead and give Texas a run for their money. But we all know that California and New York, if y'all all want safe haven and you want to steal in peace and you want to go do van life, you can always go to either one of those places. You can always go. Meanwhile, over in New York, they're taking a completely different stance and strategy when it comes to stopping theft. And you can see Eric Adams right there, and let's see what their approach is going to be.
New York City just announced a new plan to push back against package thieves. And News 4's Erica Byfield's in Bed-Stuy to explain how the plan will work. Erica?
Well, today the mayor was here, and he told us that this is a win-win when it comes to dealing with package thefts and the environment. We also learned that 7 of these are ready to go, and more are on the way. Package thieves, look out. New York City is fighting back with Locker NYC. 6.5.
Florida said you're going to catch a felony. New York said we're going to put up some lockers. Listen, look at the difference between Eric Adams and Ron DeSantis. Florida said, fam, you going to jail. If you get other people to do it with you, they going to jail. Your mama going to jail. Your daddy going to jail. Everybody getting locked up. Everybody going to jail. If you steal, you going to jail. You steal something off somebody else's porch, you going to jail. Eric Adams says, let's do a press conference, and we're going to put up some lockers. It's 8.5 million people in New York, and they got 6 storage lockers ready to go.
Half-foot tall storage containers that are free to use, giving city dwellers a new delivery destination.
Our goal is to solve the problem, and that's why we're here today.
First one unveiled today in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. The Adams administration wanted it here because this is a community that's dealing with theft problems and space constraints. Cody Williams says it's needed.
Around about Christmas time, a couple of packages I've never received. But I complain, nothing happened.
Other providers offer locker storage like this, but what makes New York City's DOT's concept unique? Its bright green color, and all sorts of package companies like UPS and DHL are cleared to drop off and pick up here 24/7, which should defeat crime.
When you look at
Dog, they taking whole mail trucks out here in these streets. He said this is going to defeat crime. They taking a mail truck, they taking your keys, and then they going into the mail properties and they taking your car. What you talking about?
the surge of at-home deliveries, you're also looking at the surge of theft. Almost 90,000 packages being reported stolen or lost every day in this city. New Yorkers have had thousands of dollars worth of items taken from their apartments, their lobbies, out front, on their porches, and we want to tackle the problem head on.
Another plus, city reps say that this system should help ease delivery truck congestion on the streets, allowing carriers to make fewer trips, which should address double parked vehicles and improve emissions. Gabriel Calderon thinks that might be a stretch.
It's going to happen regardless because people order online is the taste du jour right now, so people are going to order online regardless.
New York City isn't alone in its quest used to manage trucks and curb thefts. A locker pilot in Seattle found that truck idling dropped 33% and deliveries decreased 78%. In Brooklyn, Williams says he's going to give it a shot.
Might work and see what happens.
Expected to last 1 year. Ultimately, it'll include 15 different locations. We found out today that the company that installed these lockers is picking up the tab, so it's free to use. And right now, it's free for New York City. Erica Byfield, News 4, New York.
So, two different people, two different states, two different governors, and two different approaches to crime. I'll leave it up to you guys to determine which one you think will be most effective.